Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new episode for Loki. Now this is episode 3, and things are definitely getting interesting. So we pretty much start off with the female Loki, like, just chilling. You know, she's out having margaritas. It feels like this was an origin story of her and her past. She was hanging out with another girl, which I didn't realize was the girl from before, right? The captain of the squad from earlier in the episode, or earlier in the last episode. And really, you know, it wasn't until kind of like I kind of looked at the character and noticed it was her that I realized that Loki was really just playing some like brain games with her and trying to figure out where exactly the TVA was, what exactly she had to look for. Eventually, she, found a way to do it. So she found one of the elevators, I guess you would say, and the key word is that they're gold, right? And that really marks, the time, like the timekeepers and their entrances. So she's able to go in, right? And at first, she's gonna go in and enchant one of the guards. So obviously, it's an easy way in, but it looks like, she can't use her powers. So I mean, the weird thing about it is that it's kind of weird to see her, like, obviously she can't use her powers, so she has to resort to kind of like her own wits. And she's fighting off the guards. She has all these years of skills and talent, and she's kind of just fighting them off, dodging attacks. She's using their weapons against them, erasing them from time, I guess you would say. I mean, it's super cool to see another Loki. Like, it's weird because I still don't know. At first I thought it was like, is she a female Loki, or is she just shape-shifting? Is it a Loki that looks like, our Loki, but just shape-shifting and prefers this look? Or maybe, could this be, like I was saying, or I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode, there's different versions, alternate versions of yourself in different timelines. In this timeline, Loki's a boy. Sorry, in our timeline, Loki's a boy. In that timeline, Loki's a girl. I know in the comments he's gender fluid, but obviously, you have to be one or the other. You're either male or female, but like in alternate timelines, you're, one or the other. So I guess this one is a female Loki who's already kind of dealt with TVA before. So she, later on she tells us, that, she's been doing this for years, and her plan is years in the making. But, if anything, it's really just showing us where she's at, what her side is. Is she against the timekeepers in the sense of like she wants to stop what they're doing, or does she want to destroy them for for what reason? But obviously she can't use her powers, and so she has a tough time getting through. But she, I don't know. At first, I really thought that they were going to start the episode showing off what she was doing in the during the events of last episode, but no, it was just a continuation of like what we dealt with, because Loki comes in right after. So obviously she can't use her powers, and so she tries to fight with Loki. They exchange blows. They try to kind of reason with each other until the TVA show up, and then Loki decides to kind of teleport them both, because he most likely, I think, wants answers rather than like capture her and not make her talk. I guess I'm sure they'll try to make her talk and she won't, so it's better if it's one-on-one. But they get teleported to this new planet. It's called Lamentis 1. It looks like I thought it was Titan or Thanos' world, or it was like all purple. So I thought it was what's that? The planet where they took Gamora. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I thought it was that planet. But either way, he starts arguing with himself, I guess you would say, with the female Loki. But really, you can't argue with yourself. It's going to be a back and forth, because there's just two different people, and they kind of have two different goals. So they first start, fighting, and they realize where they are, and they had to run to safety because Lamentis 1 is currently in the state of its apocalypse, right? And so they take shelter in this little like fortitude, I guess, this little like rover, I don't know what to call it, I don't know, a house, maybe it is a house. And then they start kind of like talking to each other, and the female Loki tries to mind read the male Loki. At first I thought she was going to kiss him. Like, are you going to kiss yourself? I mean, you guys are both attractive, but whatever. But she's just trying to, kind of like enchant him. But obviously you can't enchant someone who's that, strong-minded. So they eventually have a truce. And then, they start talking. We eventually know or find out that her name is Sylvia, I think, or Sylvie. And that's like the name she decided to go with. I think it's an acronym for Loki in a way. Kind of like, when you exchange the letters but add one more, Not really, because there's no K in this, but I think it's just something similar. But obviously then, the whole episode is kind of just them going through shenanigans, right? They need to find a power source for their teleporter because it's not charged, and that's the only way they can get off Lamentis 1 before it gets destroyed. So a whole bunch of shenanigans happen where they try to infiltrate a train just to get easy passage to what is it, an arc, right, to escape, because they heard it from this this woman who was, I guess, just alone, ready to die because obviously she can't afford a ticket. But then they get into the train and they sit down and they finally have a heart-to-heart, kind of learning more about each other, or really Loki talking about himself, where it's because she's still very like she still has a lock and key. She's not going to talk. She's not budging. But Loki's trying to kind of ease her out of it, right? And they have, like I said, they have their usual heart-to-heart. A few stuff gets revealed. Like she knows that she, they told her early that she was an orphan while he wasn't. So they're kind of comparing each other. Like, Loki remembers his mother while she doesn't. I don't know if it's the same mother or something's different. They even reveal, I think, that, which is not really that big of a deal, but people are making a deal out of it. It's Loki's bisexual in a way, because they talk about love, and they were, going back to the woman who, she was, waiting for her husband or whatever she was, and then the conversation starts, and they kind of like, I guess, drop that for the fans, which, I mean, I really don't mind because it's whatever, but, hopefully it doesn't really become something that bothers too many people. I mean, I don't know too much of the comics, and from what I hear, Loki is neutral, so I guess it's fine. But I mean, at least it's progressive, I mean, after that, I don't know, she falls asleep, and when she comes back in, Loki is kind of like just singing around. He's talking with these people, or I don't know what it is. At first I thought it was an enchantment, like because I can't remember if right before that she told him how to use the enchantments, and he was doing it, but actually no, I think that's later. So no, this obviously isn't an enchantment, and he's just drunk, I guess you would say, because they offered them drinks. She didn't take it because she's focused on the mission, but obviously he's more chill. I guess you would say he was just vibing, and he's like, oh, the world's gonna end, so whatever. But eventually, I guess because he's drunk, people find out who he is because he removes his disguise that he had put on earlier in the episode. And then so they have a fight and everything, but then in the end, they end up throwing him off the train and they have to walk to their destination. But unfortunately, during the fall, he landed on the device that they were using to teleport, and now it's broken, and she's just upset. So their new plan is to go out into the Ark and try to maybe escape with it, right? But then I guess they're too late because obviously we're thrown off the train, and I don't know, when they get there, it's already blowing up. The moon literally collapses and starts falling, on top of everything, and in the end, the Ark gets destroyed anyways. So who knows what's going to happen next? Who knows how everything's going to end? How they're going to escape? But really, the episode was just, Loki and Sylvie getting to know each other, finding out, really, Loki was just trying to find out what she was after. We still don't know exactly why she's doing this, but it looks like she's been doing this for a while. But hopefully in the next episode, there's a lot more revealed. Yeah, I mean, not a lot happened in the sense of, like, progression. It was just really, like, two characters getting to know each other and not much in the story. Like, they ended up not really leaving the planet in the end. Don't know if maybe they'll cause a time anomaly and the TVA will find that and pick them up somehow, but who knows. So far, it's really cool to learn about this new Loki, and I don't know how everything else is going to affect the rest of the Marvel Universe. But with that being said, I mean, like I said, if there's alternate looks to a person, then it could, lead into Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or, No Way Home with the Spider-Verse. And that's why, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield look so much more different, or look different than Tom Holland, right? It's like an older version from a different timeline, all this stuff. So I'm definitely excited for everything. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else that I upload. And until next time, bye.